This is the review for Geometry Quarter 1 exam. How are the two angles related? You notice that this angle is 67, you know this angle is 113, and you notice that if you add 113 and 67, you're going to see that when you add 113 plus 67, it equals to 180. So the only definition that satisfies that is supplementary. Supplementary. Okay, number 2. Find the value of K. Remember that the triangle sum theorem states that the angles in a triangle are 180. So you have 29 degrees plus 76 degrees plus the measurement of angle K is equal to 180 degrees. So you're going to add 29 plus 76, and you get 105, plus K, the measurement of K, is 180 degrees. You're going to subtract 105 from both sides. And when you subtract 105, we know that 180 minus 105 is 75. So your answer is B. Number 3. What is the converse of the following conditional? It says if a point is in the first quadrant, that's the first part, then its coordinates are positive. The converse would mean that you'd have to start with this part first. So we're going to make it into an if statement. If the coordinates are what? Positive, then the point is in the first quadrant. So which of these will satisfy the converse? So what you're doing is you're switching the statements, so the first part is going to be the last, and then the last part is going to be the first. So your answer is D. Okay, we haven't gone over that, but we are going to be doing that sometime this week. Well, actually, either tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. Which of the following answer below is not correct? So you have angle IJK, that's correct. Angle KJI, that's correct. Angle 2 and angle KJL. So I think the one that is incorrect is C. And I think what's missing here is a J. So these 3 are correct, and angle 2 is the only one that's correct. Angle 5, which angle is acute? A is a straight angle, which is going to be, the measurement is 180. Angle B is obtuse, it's greater than 180. C is angle that is acute, it's less than 90 degrees. And D is an angle that is a straight angle, so your answer is D. No, it's not D, because it's not asking for a straight angle, it's asking for an acute angle, so it's C. Okay. Number 6, find the value of X. The diagram is not shown to scale. Remember that we did an activity that said that the remote, the exterior is equal to the 2 remote interior angles. So we know that 126 degrees is equal to 66 degrees plus the measurement of angle X. So we have to subtract 66 from both sides. And that's going to help us to find the measurement of angle X. So we have 126 minus 66, which gives us 60. So your answer is D. So remember, in this activity that we did a couple weeks ago, is the remote exterior angles equal to the two remote interior angles. Okay. Number 7, it says line or ray SQ, this is ray SQ, bisects, that means it cuts this angle in half, so these angles are congruent. And the measurement of angle RSQ is 3x minus 5. Write the expression for angle RST. Remember, if this is going to bisect the angle, then this angle also has to be 3x minus 5. So what you actually have is 3x minus 5 plus 3x minus 5 for the larger angle. So you have 6x minus 10. So your answer is C. Number 8, I'm still teaching that. It has to do with conditionals. So I'm still teaching that, and I haven't finished with the lesson on that. Number 9, what are 3 pairs of corresponding angles? So we have 3 and 4 are not corresponding, but angle 1 and angle 7 is corresponding. 8 and angle 6 are corresponding. 2 and 4 are corresponding. So I think your answer, I know your answer is B. B. Okay. And number 10 is one of those problems that I'm still working on the lesson with. I'm still giving you lessons. Parallel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this larger. And this is a lesson that's upcoming, but it's not too hard. So number 11, it says, is the point 3, 8 and point Q, -5, 3 parallel to the line through the points of -5, -2, and -2, -1. What you got to do is you got to find the slope. So go ahead and find the slope between P and Q. And I know that you know how to find the slope between P and Q. So it's going to be, remember the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is 3 minus y1 is 8 divided by x2 is -5 minus 3. So 3 minus 8 gives you -5. 3 minus 8 gives you -5. -5 minus 3 gives you -8, and that's going to be 5 over 8. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to make sure that I did this correctly. So you have 3, which is y2, minus 8, which is y1, and then we have -5 minus 3, so you got 5 over 8. Okay, so now we got to find the slope between R and S. So we have y2, which is 1, minus y1, which is -2, divided by -2 minus -5, right? So let me stop. So we have 1 minus -2, which is going to give you 3. 1 minus 1 minus -2, so that's going to give you 3. -2, so in this case, we have -2 minus -5. That's going to be also positive, and that's 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. The slope between R and S is 1, and the slope between P and Q is 5/8. So I would say the answer has to be between the last two. No, one line has a 0 slope and the other has no slope. That was not correct. The lines, no, the lines have unequal slopes. These are unequal. So your answer is D. Okay. Number 12, what is the equation in point slope form for a line parallel to 3? So we have y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. You're going to be provided the formula. So let's go ahead and substitute what we have. Y minus y1 in this case it's -2, and if it's parallel, they will not intersect and they will have the same slope. So you can have 3x minus -3. So let's go ahead and simplify, or let's go ahead and clean this up. So you have y plus 2 equals 3 parentheses x plus 3. So is our answer there? Yes, the answer is B. Okay, the answer is B. Okay, for 13, we're going to also use point slope, but we got to write it as slope intercept form. In other words, we have to solve for y. It says write an equation in slope intercept form of the line containing the points 2, 5, and the slope of 2. So you have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we have y minus y1 is 5 is equal to m, which the slope is 2, and you have x minus 2. So now you're going to have to solve for y. So you have y minus 5 equals 2 times x gives you 2x. 2 times -2 gives you -4. You add 5 to both sides because you're solving for y. So you have y equals 2x plus 1. You have y equals 2x plus 1. So your answer is D. Angle DFG and angle JKL are complementary angles. So these two angles are complementary. So that means that x plus 3 plus x minus 1 equals 90. Complementary means that the sum is equal to 90. So you have 2x plus 2 equals 90. Minus 2 minus 2. So you have 88 is equal to 2x divided by 2. So x is equal to 44. So x is equal to 44. So we got to find the measurement of angle DFG, which is 44 plus 44 plus 3, which gives you 47. So which one has 47? So it's either going to be B or C, right? B or C. And then the other one is going to be the measurement of angle JKL, which is 44 minus 1, which is 43. So your answer is C. The measurement of angle AOC, which is the bigger angle or the whole angle, is 25 degrees. We know that the measurement of angle BOC is 2x plus 10. And we know that the angle of AOB is 4x minus 15. We got to find each angle, so we have to go ahead and add those two. And they have to have a sum of 25 degrees. Why? Because the two smaller angles will give you the larger angle, which is AOC, angle AOC. So you have 6x and negative 15 plus 10 is minus 5 is equal to 25. So you're going to solve for x, so you add 5 to both sides. So you have 6x equals negative 5 plus 5 is 0, so you're left with 25 plus 5 is 30, divided by 6, so x is equal to 5. So if you want to find each measurement, the angle of BOC is going to be 2 times 5 plus 10. That's 20. So this has to be 4 times 5 minus 15, which gives you 5. So it's 5 degrees and 20 degrees. So which one has 5 degrees and 20 degrees? Well, it's A, okay? 17. Find the length. So 17. Find the length of AD, right? So let's find the length of AD. So to find the length of AD, it's going to be the absolute value. And you have negative 7 minus 8. So it's the absolute value of negative 15. So remember that negative 15 is how many units away from 15? 15. Negative 15 is 15. So the absolute value of negative 15 is 15. Okay, find the values of the variables. Show your work, explain your steps. Okay, W. We're going to solve W. So I'm gonna do it up here. So we have W plus 25 equals, 25 plus 90 is equal to 180. So I'm going to write that here. W plus 25 plus 90 is equal to 180. And what's the reason? That is a triangle sum theorem. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring out my calculator so I can work with you here. So we're going to add 25. We're going to add 25 plus 90. And you get 115, so you have W plus 115 equals 180. So what do we do with 180? We have 180 minus 115, which gives you the value of Y, angle Y is 65. And explain your solution. It's triangle sum theorem, right? So that's W. The next one I want to find, if this is 65, then how can we find the measurement of angle V? Well, we know that V plus 65 degrees, and these are all degrees, is going to be 180. Why? Because they're a linear pair. And remember that a linear pair, the sum will be 180. So we have V plus 65 is equal to 180. So I'm just going to subtract 180 minus 65. 180 minus 65. And that gives you 115. So this is 115. Okay. We know that Y, so we have Y and angle Y is congruent to angle W. Why? Because of vertical angles. And we know that vertical angles are congruent, so this has to automatically be 65, and we know that angle X and angle Y are also vertical angles, so that's 115, and I'm missing the degree mark, so there's the degree mark, okay? So we know those are all vertical angles. So now to find the value of Z, it's going to be, the angle of Z is going to be Z plus 65 plus 51 is equal to 180, and that's the triangle sum theorem. So let me go ahead and add 65 plus 51. 65 plus 51. So that gives you 116. And this is 115. So we have a Z plus 116 equals 180. Then I'm going to subtract 116, which is 180 minus 116. That's 64. So this is 64. And this is the triangle sum theorem. Oh. Let me erase that. Triangle sum theorem. Okay. So that was 18. 19 Name the ray in the figure. Remember, you always start with the endpoint. So obviously A is incorrect. Obviously CD is incorrect because that's a segment. CD, that's a line. So your only answer has to be D. That's 19. That's how you name a ray. 20. Which lines are parallel if angle 1 and angle 2 are same side, are equal to 180? In other words, they're supplementary. So here is your transversal, and here is your two lines, J and K. So we're trying to say that J is parallel to K. And so that automatically eliminates A and B. So J and K, by the converse, that means if the two angles are supplementary, consequently the two lines will be parallel. So your answer is D. 21. Let me skip that for right now because I need some room to do 21. 22, complete the statement. We have, here's our triangle. We have angle D, angle F, and angle E. So we're going to have to start with angle D because angle D is congruent to angle D. And we know that F is congruent to angle F, and then E is congruent to angle G. So it has to be D, F, G. So your answer is D. And I'm going to check that just so I can make sure that I'm correct. I'm going to look at the key. So we have, that's number 22, and the answer is D. That's correct. Okay, 23. Is the line points P, -3, -8, and 5, -5, -5, perpendicular to -10, 10, and -2, 7? So what you need to do is you have to find the slopes of each line. In other words, you got to find the slopes of PQ. So you have y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So we're going to find the slopes of these two first points, okay? You're going to find the slopes of these 2 points. So y2 is -5 minus -8 divided by x2 is 5 minus -3. So this is positive. So we have -5 plus 8, which gives you 3. This is positive, positive, so that's 8. So that's 3 over 8. Now we're going to go ahead and find the slope of the other two lines, the other line. So we're going to start with y1. We have 7 minus 10. Okay, so we have 7, y2 minus 10, and then we have -2 minus -10. So 7 minus 10 is -3. This is going to be positive, so that's going to be 8. So we got to make sure that we did this correctly. So we have y2, which is -5, minus a -8, that's 2 positive, so that's going to be 3. 5 minus a -3, which gives us 8. So now we have 7 minus 10, which gives us -3. And then we have -2 minus -10, which that becomes positive. So we have two slopes, and they're not equal to each other, nor are they're not opposite. So the answer would be B. No, their slopes are not opposite reciprocals, okay? For them to be perpendicular, it has to be opposite reciprocals. So let's look at 23, and the answer is B. The answer is B. Okay, 24. If Z is the midpoint of RT, What are x, r, z, r, t? Remember, the midpoint is equidistant from r and also equidistant to t. That means they have the same distance. So if I wanted to set this up, it's going to be 4x minus 25 equals 27. You add 25 to both sides since we're solving for x. So you have 4x equals 7 plus 5 is 12. And that gives you 52 divided by 4. So let's go to our calculator. And we have 52 divided by 4, which gives you 13. So we know that the value of x is 13. RZ is 13. ZT is 13. So what's the distance from R to T? Well, that's going to be, I take that back. No, I'm sorry. Let me take this back. This is 27, of course, and this is 27. So 27 plus 27 has to be 54. So RT is 54, RZ is 27, and X is 13. So it has to be A. So I'm checking 20. Yeah, it is right. It's A. Okay. 25. What are the names of 3 collinear points? So we need the points to be on the same line. So we have P, M, and N. So where's P, M, and M? P, M, and M, they're in the same line, P, M, and N. And so your answer is 25 is D. They are collinear. That means they belong to the same line. 26 is a proof, and we're gonna do that in class, a proof. Okay, so let me get to the last problem. Let me get to the last problem. So here is the slope, and let's go ahead and find the slope. And I'm having a hard time with my review here. So the slope is going to be m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what's the value of y2? In this case, the value of y2 is negative 5 minus 2. Okay, that's 2. Divided by, what's the value of x2? I'm going to say it's 8 minus a negative 6. So we have negative 7 over 14. And you know that 7 is divisible by 7, so that's 1. And 14 is divisible by 7, which is 2. So it's negative 1/2. You could have eliminated the positive since it's a negative slope, and it had to be D. Okay.